Hello, my name is Richard Ledig, and today I'd like to take you through the journey of Legacy Capsules, a one-of-a-kind experience that gives a sense of physicality and interactivity to the stories of historical figures all throughout history. Each Legacy Capsule is attached to a specific historical figure, and housed inside are a multitude of artifacts. These pieces tell the story of their respective historical figure, allowing you to grasp their legacy with your own hands. In addition, the Legacy Capsule Companion app serves to enhance your Legacy Capsule experience. Each artifact within your capsule has a corresponding page within the app, providing additional context to what they represent in the story of the historical figure. Add in an interactive timeline and some special secrets to discover along the way, and you have an interactive journey through history like no other. Let's start up the app and begin our journey. We have the option to select a Legacy Capsule, the first released capsule being A Legacy of Despair, the Edgar Allan Poe experience. Let's start here. This specific capsule has four main sections within the app, the first being the Artifact section, which allows us to read more on each artifact and what they represent to Edgar Allan Poe's life story. Next, we have the timeline, providing us with a compact snapshot of his life, including where and when some of his most noteworthy works were published. Thirdly, there are the settings, rather self-explanatory, but from here we can also return to the capsule selection page, as well as view Works Cited. Finally, there's the Mysterious Briefcase section. Throughout our journey, we may find mysterious notes left behind by an enigmatic figure. Only those who discover everything Legacy Capsules has to offer will be able to discover the notes, decipher the code, and open the briefcase to unveil the figure's true identity. Let's start with the Artifacts page. The first artifact is a cigar box belonging to John Allan, who became Poe's foster father after his birth mother passed. John Allan worked as a merchant and would sell goods such as cigars frequently. In addition to scrolling down to read more about the artifact, tapping the info icon on each image will reveal an image description containing more information. On the inside of the cigar box, we see an odd inscription, signed by someone calling themselves PT. It may be related to the briefcase in some way. Perhaps we'll take a look at this again later. A common theme present in Edgar Allan Poe's works is the death of the beautiful woman. This second artifact is a candle dedicated to the women in Poe's life whose deaths may have inspired these very same themes. Present on the candle are portraits of three women. First, we have Elizabeth Poe, Edgar Poe's biological mother, who died while Edgar was still very young. Secondly, we have Frances Allan, Poe's foster mother and the wife of John Allan. Thirdly, there is Virginia Poe, Poe's wife and cousin, whose death in particular would have a significant impact on him. The third artifact within the capsule comes in the form of a wanted poster for Poe's first published book. Of the 50 copies ever produced of Tamerlane and other poems, only 12 copies are known to currently exist, making it one of the most valuable first editions in all of American literature. On the back of the poster is a similar inscription to the one we found inside the John Allan cigar box. Whoever this PT is, it seems like they're trying to tell us something by leaving these cryptic notes behind. While we could browse the artifacts page to view the next artifact, we can also go through the timeline section to discover the ones we've missed so far. The timeline provides a brief summary of the major events of Edgar Allan Poe's life, as well as providing links in the events which correspond to an artifact within the capsule. Certain events in the timeline are also accompanied with corresponding images. Right here, we find an event that features a link to an artifact we haven't seen yet. Let's take a look. This artifact represents Poe and his struggles with alcoholism. While it's debated how severe Poe's drinking problem was, it's generally understood that he became more frequently inebriated after the death of his wife in 1847. On the glass is a quote from a letter Poe wrote to a friend, which reads, "As a matter of course, my enemies referred the insanity to the drink, rather than the drink to the insanity." Let's go back to the artifacts page and keep browsing. Here we find a newspaper article detailing the events of Edgar Allan Poe's mysterious death. The story of Poe's final days are filled with many strange rumors and speculative theories, but very few answers. It's a series of events just as chilling and inexplicable as his very own tales. What's stranger are these instructions on the newspaper, informing us to use the app to scan the special symbol. There's even an editor's note telling us there may be other artifacts which secretly contain the symbol. By tapping the info button and tapping the eye symbol on the overlay, the app can use the smartphone's camera to scan the symbol. A successful scan gives us access to a special page within the app, containing a recording of an excerpt from Poe's obituary, written by a man named Ludwig. Ludwig described Poe's character as depraved and deeply disturbed. Let's take a listen.
He was at all times a dreamer, dwelling in ideal realms, in heaven or hell, peopled with the creatures and the accidents of his brain. He walked the streets in madness or melancholy, with lips moving in indistinct curses, or with eyes upturned in passionate prayer, never for himself, for he felt or professed to feel that he was already dead.
That was a surprise. What's even more surprising is that the name of the page has changed from Ludwig's account to Griswold's slander. There's also more information on the bottom, revealing that Ludwig was actually Rufus Griswold, Poe's literary rival who went on to spread lies about Poe after his death. In actuality, the recording we just listened to was most likely nothing but lies. Trying to play the audio again results in an error message. Is it possible that something removed the audio file from the app itself? I see. Whoever this PT figure is, it seems as if they've been watching us on our journey. Are they friend or foe? Maybe the answers lie within our final artifact. Let's take a look. The final artifact doesn't pertain to an event at all. Rather, it's a poetry prompt book by Legacy Capsules, inviting us to become a part of Poe's legacy by writing our own poems in the dark style of his own works. Here's an example of one of the prompts. Guilt, originating from sin, holds dominion over man. To melancholy and madness, it drives them. Certainly chilling, but it brings us no closer to solving this PT mystery. And we're all out of artifacts, so is that it? Actually, if I recall, didn't we see that eye symbol somewhere earlier in the app? Let's try taking one last look at the artifacts page for the candle. Maybe we'll find something there. Aha! I thought we saw that symbol somewhere before. We found the icon and the overlay for Virginia, so maybe the same symbol is somewhere on the artifact near the portrait of Virginia Poe. Let's scan it and see. Similarly to before, we're greeted to a secret page containing another audio recording, this time of Poe detailing his thoughts during the illness and death of his wife. Let's take a listen.
6 years ago, a wife, whom I had loved as no man ever loved before, ruptured a blood vessel in singing. I took leave of her forever, and underwent all the agonies of her death. She recovered partially, and I again gained hope. At the end of the year, the vessel broke again, and again, and even once again, at varying intervals. Each time I felt all the agonies of her death. I loved her more dearly, and clung to her life with more desperate pertinacity. I became insane, with long intervals of horrible sanity.
Another profound message from PT himself. But no matter how many times they make their presence known, we're still no closer to solving this mystery. Just what is in this briefcase? Let's take a step back and think things through one last time. Each note from PT that we've discovered contained some sort of message. They aren't threatening in nature, they seem more like some sort of life advice. and each note has a different number with this series of dots underneath. But each of the 4 dot patterns are slightly different, only having one of the dots filled in. And there are only 4 numbers to input in order to open the briefcase. What if each number and each dot correspond to the number and order that the code must be entered into the briefcase in order to open it? 1049, 1049. October 1849, the month and year of Edgar Allan Poe's death. Well, there's only one way to know if we're on the right track. Let's input the code and see what happens. And it looks like we've been taken out of the app and into a web browser, some kind of article on a news website. The article describes the 70th anniversary of the last sighting of someone the article refers to as the Poe Toaster, who visited Edgar Allan Poe's grave annually from 1949 to 2009. Obscured by darkness, he would toast the poet, place a glass upon his grave along with 3 roses and an occasional cryptic piece of writing, and quietly leave. No one disturbed the Poe Toaster during his annual ritual, and as such, no one uncovered the toaster's true identity before he vanished. Oh? What's going on with this glitched out button at the bottom of the page? I see. It looks like a certain enigmatic figure has one last thing to tell us.
I must be going soon. I am needed elsewhere. But before I truly vanish, there is a favor I must ask of you. Allow me the honor of being the first to toast someone who never ceases in their search for the truth. To someone who has the drive to discover and persevere. And to someone whom I am certain will leave behind a legacy worth remembering. I toast you, my friend. Tonight, I toast you.
My name is Richard Ledig. This has been Legacy Capsules. Thank you for joining me.